Hello everybody and welcome back to another edition of The Real, The Raw, The Truth podcast with your host, me, Ryan. Before we get underway, as always, a massive thank you to our sponsors, RedRoseRecovery. Today, I'm going to be chatting with our friend, one of our beneficiaries, the captain of the team, everybody, Mr. Mick the Jip.
The Jip. Morning, Ryan.
Are you, mate? You okay?
I am indeed. Yourself?
Yeah, mate. Before we get underway, do you just want to introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about you.
Yeah, Mick Fowler, again, football, captain at football team, do white collar boxing, which Red Rose have just signed up to as well. Recovering addict of alcohol for numerous years, and 8 months sober.
Yeah, and that's nothing to, what's the word I'm looking for?
Yeah, there's a few, isn't there?
There's a few words for that, mate, but well done though. One day at a time and all that.
That's it.
So, when did you first get involved with Red Rose? I think you've been here as long as I can remember. I think you got involved actually, about the same time as me. Was it March?
April
time.
17th of April, 19th of April.
And where did you first hear about us?
It was through recovery homes. I moved from Blackburn to Preston, got put into recovery homes. This was one of the things that I had to get done. Come down and get involved. First thing I did was sign up for football, did a few groups, and then next thing you know, captain at football team.
Yeah, which was my decision. If I remember correctly, we had a bloodbath in Accrington against another team.
And I weren't there.
Yeah, you weren't there, and it was just people booting each other and arguing, people rowing at training. I thought, you know what, we need a captain. Who do we pick? Oh, well, who's going to be most intimidated by? But no, mate, you know what? You're a gentle giant, aren't you?
Yeah.
I think what stood out was your character. You're ex-army.
That's the one.
You touched on the boxing, you know, even at training, you know, lads having a kick about you down there doing press-ups and all that. You're a very driven individual. Did you lose some of that discipline in addiction?
I lost it all, to be honest. If I'm being honest with myself and you lot, I turned into a monster through addiction. Jail, GBH, stuff like that, fighting for fun. And then the lies, the deceit, you name it, I did it.
Yeah, and it's quite a downfall, that, mate, from someone who's in the army, who's got all that respect, you know, passing out parade in uniform, your family coming. I bet it was quite surreal the night you locked in a cell, because I've been in them cells, and I don't know about you, but if you're sharing one, it's dehumanising. You've got a stranger you've never met, there's a toilet there, a bed, your table where you eat, and the door's slammed, and you're like, is this what my life's come to now? Quite a fall from grace. Yeah,
well, to be fair, I didn't have the luxury of sharing. As
it's not a luxury, I'll tell you now.
Well, it's someone to talk to, innit?
Yeah.
Locked up on your own, 4 walls, that's it. But again, I did the crime, so I paid the price for it.
It is, I mean, I can relate to that. I was actually high risk in prison. I had my own cell, and during COVID, I asked the government to take me off it so I could have a pad, mate, because I was going mental. Just locked in a cell 23 hours, 45 minutes a day, and out for a shower. How did you feel your mental health survived prison? Did you go back to your basics? You running your training, or did you just...
Training?
Yeah.
Training and family and friends.
Yeah.
Basically. Yeah. And I came out of jail, and I'm not touching another drop of alcohol. First thing I did, as soon as I got the money, went to the shop.
Yeah, I believe it, mate.
Oh,
I've done it myself. I've been in there before, and I've hammered home in my head. And I've had some brilliant drugs workers in jail, and you know they've identified the problem. Alcohol. One of them said to me, Lancaster Farms, you would have never come to prison if you didn't drink. Alcohol's the denominator. Wherever you've been, that's the problem. And I swore off it, and I've said before, you put me in a lie detector, I would have passed it. Letters to my family, when I get out, I'm not drinking. They get out, I find myself in the pub.
It's true, isn't it?
Yeah, it is,
It's true.
It's the insanity of it, isn't it?
Oh, of course, it's the madness.
What's the longest you've done then off alcohol? Is this the longest now?
Yeah. Even in jail, I were brewing myself.
Yeah, I can relate, mate.
But this is the longest ever done. I did 3.5 months from December last year, went to rehab, till 1st of April, where I walked out of rehab because of circumstances that I couldn't control. And hit the drink straight away. Came to Preston, said enough's enough now, my kids come first.
Yeah.
And not look back, to be honest.
No, you've really not, mate. One thing I will say, you threw yourself into everything. You know, if someone's like the football, the groups, like houses, things, meetings, you know, come to you, maybe how do you feel about being captain? Yeah, the boxing's been massive for you as well, hasn't it?
That's probably the main one.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to do it, and when I moved to Preston on the Monday, 17th of April, I think it were. I went on Facebook and it said, sign up, white collar boxing. So I clicked on it. Next thing I know, I'd signed up. Training started the Monday after.
Yeah.
I put it all over Facebook because I knew what I was like in addiction. I'd say I'd do something, I wouldn't go through with it. Put it on Facebook and that were it. I thought, I have to go through with it now, otherwise I'm a shitbag.
Yeah, no, and you know what, man? I think that's a really good idea. You know, if you're committing to something and everyone knows about it, maybe if you left to your own devices, that morning when the alarm goes off at 6 and it's raining outside, I'll have a run tomorrow. If you know you're fighting and you know everyone's waiting for your fighting, you don't really give yourself any room for excuses, do you?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And we went to support you, me as a mate, so we're going in that, but when like my line manager and stuff found out, it was very much along the lines of, well, he's one of our beneficiaries, he's captain of the team, let's go and support him. And everyone was that impressed with the night and the event, for the white collar event, that Red Rose have decided to link up, go in partnership as you will, over the next year and get any of our beneficiaries, volunteers, staff, we're going to get them all involved. I mean, in recovery, a lot of people look at the internal work, you know, the meetings and the steps. We'll talk about the spiritual awakening and what have you. Where do you feel, because I believe that physical exercise is just as important as any of the others.
To be fair, I think that's the main one, physical, because it keeps your mind occupied, to be honest. Well, it did with me anyway. I can only say what I've gone through. The exercise I do keeps me safe. Now, I've put myself in situations through boxing, going to watch amateur shows, beer all around me. And I didn't feel like drinking. And to be honest, Colin, the boxing coach, he even pulled me because I had non-alcoholic beer. He thought it was beer, and he came up, what are you doing? It's non-alcoholic. Now, I know, now I realise non-alcoholic don't work because it just covers it up, really.
Yeah, I mean, there's loads of different, everyone's got their own opinion on non-alcoholic beer. It's one of them, isn't it? But you can't get you drunk, but I get where you're coming from. I think, but I do think physical exercise is massive. I mean, as a human being, I believe we are threefold. I think mentally, physically, and spiritually. And some people might come into recovery and like hammer the gym and do nothing else. Some might hammer the meetings or go to uni. It's finding that equilibrium, that balance. You know what I mean? Where and we can't really allow any to get in the debit section. You know what I mean? We've got to stay in that green. But boxing's such a brilliant one. And if I'm being honest there for the podcast, I lack self-discipline. I lacked it massively in addiction. And although I've cleaned up my act a lot, there's still massive areas of improvement. And I think boxing's a brilliant remedy to that. So I was very much on board when we said we're going to be setting this up. Because I thought, well, I've got to know it. Like you said, we're putting it on Facebook. If I commit to it and the other lads get involved, I've got to do it.
Yeah.
I believe that the discipline that you're going to need in boxing, diet, training, is fundamental for boxing. But I also believe it's a fundamental in life.
100%. It helps your mental health. And really, your mental health is everything. If you have bad mental health, it pushes you to use. And because it takes you out of that situation for the time. So boxing gives you the goal. You don't want to use because you're training to fight and you are going to fight. So if you don't train properly, eat well, then you're setting yourself up to fail.
100%. And I also think you've got a goal and you can see it. And say, for example, you're fighting in 8 weeks' time. You've got a lot of purpose for that 8 weeks. You're getting up in the morning thinking, right, I've got a fight in 8 weeks. Today I'm training, I'm eating. And you're breaking it down. Plus as well, I was excited going to your show. You must get a buzz coming out to that music and the lights are on you and you've got your sponsors in your name and people are paid to come and watch you.
To be honest, with that, it all goes out window. As soon as you step up to do your ring walk, only thing you're thinking about is battering next guy. Honestly, that's the only thing that I thought about. And then when you get into that ring and you go deaf. You can't hear nothing.
I think you got too pally with your guy. I remember the night of the show, I went to see him, you fight him, and he's a lovely bloke. He's doing it for charity. I was talking, I thought, gee, come on, Mick, have a bit. To be fair to everybody, I did feel that mixed fight was a ridiculous matchup. Like he was in the ring with Andre the Giant, wasn't it? You know what I mean? But hey, you went there, you showed up, you got involved, you got stuck in, didn't you?
Got a broken nose and 2 black eyes.
Good man.
That's it. But I didn't give up. I didn't get knocked down. I didn't get a standing count. And to be fair, a rematch anytime.
Yeah, good man. So it's Christmas almost. What's Mick Where does Mick see himself this for the new year, or maybe in a year's time? What would you like to get out of 2024?
24, I want my kids back.
Yeah, good man.
I want them with me. So that's my main goal. And the way I'm going and everything, that's where they'll be. 100%. So, like I say, that's my focus. I mean, I got clean for myself, but my goal is my children. 100%.
Yeah. You know what, Mick? I think anybody listening to this, whether they're a dad, whether they've got nephews, nieces, they respect that.
Yeah, you know I mean, addiction takes everything from you.
It does.
And only until it takes everything, then you don't know. I always said I'd love my kids more than anything, but it was alcohol that I love most. Because even though they were looked after, they had everything they wanted, alcohol drove me. I mean, they were neglected in love and affection. And that's where I failed as a father.
Mate, you're so humble, and I'm sure our viewers will really respond to that humility. I mean, ex-army, football, boxing, and all that. But you said, it stripped you, and unfortunately, you put that first.
I did.
I mean, I've been there myself, mate. I put alcohol before my family, and with a clean head on me now, I look back and I think, how could you do that? But it's like a hot bath. You don't just get in a hot bath. You dip your toe in and you gradually get in there. Yeah. And I think addiction is exactly the same. You play with it and you play with it, and before you wake up one day and your life's just hell on earth. You know what I mean? You lose yourself in it. You lose your job, relationships, kids. But I think that the worst that you lose your self-respect, your dignity, and it becomes a shambles. I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy.
You wouldn't. And addiction is the hardest thing to get out of, because no matter who you promise or anything, you could be sincere when you make them promises to your family, your children, whoever. But all it takes is one bad thought, a bit of madness, boredom, whatever, and you're back in it.
100%. We are, unfortunately, never away from it. I do believe people with a background in addiction or substance misuse like us, we are whenever a few drinks away from it, a drink away from it, a drug away from it. Yeah. But I hope and I believe that it gets easier over time. But I think once you've broke the cycle and you've got a year or two under your belt, it's very much maintenance. And if you keep doing that next right thing and you keep working towards something, the thoughts become less and less. You'll always have to monitor it, unfortunately, but it's breaking the cycle. That's the hard bit.
It is. I mean, I learned that a lot of people use to hide their emotions.
Yeah, definitely.
Really. 100%. So when you get clean, prime example were when I came out of rehab, 3.5 months, I thought I was fixed. A bit of bad news. What did I do?
Yeah.
Back to normality. Drink.
Mate, I relate massively to that. Yeah. I was in and around their meetings for like 2 years. I never got more than 3 or 4 months. I think I got it every time. Something would happen, and back at it. But I can't say I don't regret my relapses. Of course I regret them, but I learned from them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Moving forward, I think like X, Y, and Z didn't work last time. Let's swerve that. So yeah, boxing tomorrow.
Yes.
I'm sure we've got a match tomorrow evening as well.
No.
We'll wrap it up. We'll try and keep our podcast down to about 15 minutes. Is there anything you would like to say before I take us out, Mick?
If you're watching this and you're in addiction, it's well worth getting clean and sober, because there's nothing better. And for you, Ryan, bring a gum shield tomorrow, because you are coming in the ring with me.
Top man, I look forward to it, mate. You're a legend.
Lovely.
Guys, if you've enjoyed what you've heard here today, I've got tongue tied then. If you're struggling or anybody you know is struggling, please come down to see us. We're more than happy to help. If you have liked what you've heard or you've seen, click on the description below. Like, share, comment, tell everybody, get on YouTube, The Real, The Raw, The Truth podcast. Get on our website, www.RedRoseRecovery.org.uk. Until then, everybody, stay safe, and I'll see you all soon. Bye-bye.
See you later.